Gardening is often about experimenting, sometimes in ways that surprise even seasoned gardeners. I had a small, struggling patch of soil, compacted and lifeless, despite months of watering and fertilizing. Then I had an idea that seemed almost too simple. Why not build a worm tower from trash? Discarded containers, old bottles, and even broken pots, and see if it could breathe life back into my garden. At first, neighbours laughed. "Why waste your time?" they said. But within days, the transformation began. Worms, the unsung heroes of soil health, arrived in numbers I hadn't seen before. Water retention improved, soil loosened, and even my seedlings, which had been struggling, began to thrive. What I discovered wasn't just a clever recycling trick, it was a hands-on lesson in natural soil restoration, showing how simple materials and an understanding of worm behaviour can rejuvenate even the most tired beds. Worm towers transform soil from the inside out. A worm tower isn't a complicated structure, but its impact is profound. Essentially, it's a vertical column placed in your garden bed, filled with organic scraps that worms are drawn to. Unlike surface composting, which can take weeks to affect soil quality, worm towers deliver nutrients and microbial life directly where plant roots can access them. Worms tunnel out from the tower, carrying decomposed organic matter with them and aerating the surrounding soil. This underground network creates channels that improve water infiltration, nutrient distribution, and overall soil structure. In my case, I used discarded plastic bottles stacked vertically, cutting openings for worms to enter and exit. I filled them with kitchen scraps, fruit peels, vegetable trimmings, coffee grounds, and slightly dampened the mixture. Within a few days, worms began migrating into the surrounding soil, visibly changing its texture and fertility. Trash becomes a resource when used strategically. The beauty of a worm tower is that it turns waste into a resource. Instead of sending kitchen scraps to the landfill, you can feed soil life and improve your garden simultaneously. Old bottles, containers, or even broken clay pots can be repurposed to create towers that are durable, water-permeable, and ideal for worm habitation. This approach not only reduces waste, but also teaches a valuable lesson in resourcefulness. Nature thrives when we work with it, not against it. To replicate this, select containers that are tall enough to reach the root zone, with openings cut to allow worm movement. Layer scraps inside, moistening them as needed, and bury the base slightly to anchor the structure. Over time, as organic matter decomposes, add more scraps to maintain worm activity. The worms do the heavy lifting for you. What makes worm towers remarkable is that the worms themselves are the engines of transformation. They consume organic matter, excrete nutrient-rich castings, and create tunnels that aerate compacted soil. Over weeks, these actions drastically improve soil structure and fertility without heavy labour or chemical intervention. For practical application, it helps to observe the towers periodically. Top off organic scraps as they decompose, and monitor moisture levels to keep the environment hospitable for worms. Avoid adding meat, dairy or oily foods which can attract pests or disrupt the balance. Microbial life flourishes alongside worm activity. Worm towers do more than just channel nutrients. They cultivate an ecosystem. As worms digest organic material, bacteria and fungi colonize both the tower and surrounding soil. This microbial activity further breaks down matter into humus, a dark, nutrient-dense soil component that enhances fertility. The result is a self-sustaining cycle. Worms feed microbes, microbes break down scraps, and plants benefit from the improved soil environment. In my garden, areas surrounding the towers became noticeably darker and softer within weeks. Seedlings rooted more easily, water penetrated evenly, and previously compacted patches transformed into loamy soil rich with life. The method is scalable and adaptable for any garden. One of the most exciting aspects of worm towers is their versatility. For small backyard gardens, a few towers are enough to transform a single bed. For larger plots, towers can be spaced systematically across the area to ensure even coverage. Materials are flexible, from recycled bottles to ceramic fragments, making this method accessible to nearly anyone. Practical steps involve placing towers about 1 foot apart in rows, filling them with organic matter and maintaining moisture. Over months, these towers work in unison to dramatically improve soil health. I found that even a single tower could revive an underperforming bed, but multiple towers accelerated the transformation and created a visible network of life underground. Patience rewards gardeners with thriving soil. The worm tower technique isn't an overnight miracle. It respects natural timelines. Organic matter decomposes gradually, worms colonize at their own pace, and microbial communities establish themselves steadily. Yet patience pays off. After a few weeks, the soil surrounding the towers is noticeably darker, softer, and teeming with life. Plants grow faster, roots penetrate more easily, and water retention improves naturally. For gardeners interested in long-term soil health, this method demonstrates that minimal effort combined with observation and sustainable practices can yield extraordinary results. Worm towers turn simple trash into living soil treasure. What started as an experiment with discarded bottles and kitchen scraps became a revelation about soil life, sustainability, and practical gardening. Worm towers aren't just a clever DIY project. They're a tool to regenerate soil, reduce waste, and cultivate a thriving garden ecosystem. By turning trash into a resource, you're not only improving soil health, but also learning how to work with nature's cycles rather than forcing them with chemicals or heavy labour. For more forgotten soil techniques, practical gardening experiments and sustainable solutions, subscribe to Hydrohaven, share this video with fellow enthusiasts, and start building your own worm towers to witness the slow but remarkable magic of soil transformation.